What's your best, most offensive not safe for work joke? Say what you want about deaf people. How can you tell if a mechanic just had sex? One of his fingers is clean. Not the darkest, but always leaves people with a visual then either cringe or laugh. Why do deaf people make great gynecologists? Because they can read lips. Do you know what's reverse exorcism? It's when the devil tells the priest to exit the child's body. One day a man goes for a walk into town to meet his friends at a bar. On the way into town, he crosses some railroad tracks and finds a woman tied up and lying on them. After he unties her, they have sex. He continues on his walk to the bar where all of his friends are. When he gets there, he tells everyone what had just happened and all the positions they did. One of his friends asks if he got any head. The man replies, "Nah, I couldn't find it." How do you surprise a blind man? Leave a plunger in the toilet. Two men are standing by the playground watching the children play. One father waves to his son who's playing with several other children and says, "Which one's yours?" To which the other man replies, "I haven't decided yet." A guy goes to a library and asks for a book on suicide. The librarian says, "Fuck off, you won't bring it back." A man walks into the doctor's office and says, "Doctor, my ass hurts." "All right, tell me where," says the doctor. "Right around the entrance." "Sir, I think as long as you keep calling it the entrance it's going to hurt." What's the difference between a 4-year-old and a bag of cocaine? Eric Clapton wouldn't let a bag of cocaine fall out of a window. What do you call a black man on the moon? A fucking astronaut. What's wrong with you? Dude walks into a bar and tells the bartender to pour him 10 shots of whiskey. He proceeds to slug down shot after shot until they are all empty. The bartender watching it, says, "Wow man, that was impressive, what's the occasion?" The dude says, "It was my first blowjob." The bartender says, "Congrats. Let me get you another one on the house." Guy responds, "Nah, it's okay, if 10 won't kill the taste nothing will." What is something you thought all men do, but turns out they don't? Teenage me thought all dudes could suck themselves off. One horny night as a teenager I decided I was going to try, and it was about an inch from my mouth. So I stretched every night and finally got a bit of it in. Fast forward 6 years later and I'm hanging with a big group of guys and the topic of sucking yourself came up and we all admitted to attempting. And I realized none of them had said they had actually succeeded. I asked them if anyone had actually done it and literally none of them had. And at that point, they realized I had and clowned me so hard for it. Before I met my wife, one of her ex-boyfriends used to go to seedy massage parlors with his dad to get happy ending massages while on lunch break and convinced her that's a thing that all guys just do. I could not stop laughing when she told me that. And to anyone wondering, no, guys do not normally do that. I thought all men made coffee for their significant others. My dad makes coffee for my mother every morning. The first night I spent with my girlfriend and made her coffee in the morning she thought it was weird, because no one has ever made her coffee. And B, I don't drink coffee. My mom thought paying for hookers was a normal, mainstream thing. She didn't get why I was offended when she casually implied that I saw hookers. Dad sips coffee awkwardly avoiding eye contact. I thought all men only drank beer because I grew up around nothing but alcoholics. Which famous man in this modern age should young men look up to by your opinion? Wouldn't say famous, but the guy running the Dad How Do I YouTube channel is a role model for all. Fame in the modern age is a group effort. With some exceptions, every famous person has a team of people working together to ensure they come off in the best possible light. Young men are much better off looking up to real men, fathers, teachers, coaches, etc. People that they can see fail and overcome that failure. The world doesn't need more idols, it needs more real examples. Look for a mentor that you know personally. Celebrities are mostly fake, and if they are real you will never talk to them in person. Mr. Rogers. Unlike most celebrities, he was the same person on screen as off. Mr. Rogers wasn't a TV character, he was Fred Rogers gently teaching generations of children how to value themselves, how to manage their emotions in healthy ways, how to have compassion, how to appreciate music, and to have wonder and interest in the world around them. He lived by example, but he was merely human, not a saint. He was a pastor who lived by Christian values, but his teachings were non-religious, because being a decent human is within reach of all of us. He died when I was a teenager, and at the time I was cynical and made fun of him, but I enjoyed his show when I was a kid and I miss him now. Sometimes, as an adult struggling with depression, I watch the show and I still feel like Mr. Rogers is speaking to me directly. I'm not religious and I never understood the whole Jesus loves you thing, but I really believe Fred Rogers would have loved me just for being me. The guy was sincere. Gus Fring. Nobody. Learn from everybody's actions. What did they do and what were the consequences? Men of Reddit, what is your favorite quote? It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Bees don't waste time telling flies that honey is better than shit. How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. When you're up, it's never as good as it seems, and when you're down, you never think you'll be up again, but life moves on, remember that. If you want something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. The more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. Never miss an opportunity to shut the fuck up. It is better to have less thunder in your mouth and more lightning in your hands. A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for.